What up, y'all? It is New Year's Eve. Yes, it is the day before New Year's Eve, and I wanted to do this video today and make sure I got it up today. I actually meant to film this quite a few days ago, but I completely lost my voice while I was away for Christmas. I tend to lose my voice pretty much every time I get to see my best friend, and we get together every Christmas break. And I guess it's just with all the laughing and making jokes and cutting it up, I just scream myself hoarse essentially. So my voice was shot. It is like, well, how many times have I seen Rick this year? 4 or 5 times. So I've lost my voice 4 or 5 times this year. I'm only kind of able to speak at a normal volume today, so I figured I might as well take this chance to get this video out because it is relevant to get this up before 2017. This will be my last video of the year, but I do want to do my hair favorites of 2016, which I think is going to be a pretty short list because I've got a pretty exhaustive list of my all-time hair favorites right here, and not a lot has changed, although I have tried a couple new things, so I'll probably still be doing that, but it will be early 2017, you know, in the first week or so of January. And I may also do like skin and beauty favorites. I did that last year, and it is to this day the longest video I've ever done, so I think I might have to do it in a different way because I am not here for doing another 40-minute video. There have been a lot of shitty things that happened this year. There have been so many shitty things that happened this year that fuck 2016 is a pretty popular hashtag. I'm definitely guilty of participating in that negative herd mentality as well. I think it started all the way back, and I think it was February when Fife Dog died. And then it just seemed like a relentless onslaught of things that just made me not want to be on Earth anymore. Or as of November 9th, certainly not in this country anymore. And as we've drawn closer and closer to 2017, that sort of negative thinking was really starting to cloud even the future, where it's starting to look more and more like a World War III is a possibility, let alone a Civil War II. And that's when I had to check myself because I don't really like to lean into negative thinking. I really don't think it's helpful or healthful to think that way. I think it really is important to focus on the positives and not even give much life to the negatives, at least as little life as you can give them. There are certain things, of course, we can't ignore. But I realized that it was time to literally count my blessings, and I decided to say, fuck 2016. As in, fuck that whole hashtag, that negative thinking of, oh, everything was terrible this year. And I really wanted to come up with at least 16 things that were wonderful this year. 16 blessings, 16 things that I'm really, really grateful for that happened this year. I mentioned already that one of the shitty things that happened in 2016 was Fife Dog dying. But a great thing that happened in 2016 was that we got a new album from A Tribe Called Quest. And it's pretty good. I mean, obviously it's no Midnight Marauders or Low End Theory, but it's better than most of the crap that's coming out these days. And luckily they had been working on the album before Fife died, so we actually get to hear his voice again, and I didn't really expect to be able to hear his voice again this much. So I hate to be like corny, like, look on the bright side. But the truth is, like, at least we got some really great uplifting music. Tribe Called Quest is very much a like part of who I am kind of group, and Fife Dog in particular has some of my favorite lyrics in the history of not just hip-hop but of music. Let me hit it from the back, girl, I won't catch a hernia. Bust off on your couch, now you got Siemens Furniture. By the way, any of my homies out in New York, let me know if Siemens Furniture is still in business or not, because I'm curious and I don't feel like Googling. Another great thing music related that happened this year was that I got to go on vacation. I already talked about this in a video from a few months ago, but I got to see Beyonce twice this year on her Lemonade tour, and how lucky is that? I really did feel privileged to get to see Beyonce again because I've seen her a few times already, which already makes me an extremely lucky person. So to get to see someone as iconic as her was really, really special, let alone to get to see her twice with friends, and I don't know, it was just really one of the highlights of the year for me. Another great thing that relates directly to that was Evelyn from the internet was basically part of Beyonce's concert. There was a video package that ran during the concert and Evelyn was in it, and it made it even more of a special, exciting experience for me because I've been watching Evelyn for years and years and years. She is definitely a friend in my head, an internet cousin, if you will. So I was just so happy and proud to see her actually getting recognition. Like, once Beyonce actually knows who you are, you're on another level. An obvious shitty thing from 2016 was Prince passing away. But I got to go to quite a few Prince tribute nights and meet other people who loved him. I even got to go to one that was hosted and spun by Questlove from The Roots, which is my other favorite band. And it happened to be that while Quest was here in LA for that weekend, he did a Michael Jackson tribute night as well, who is another one of my like icons. missed opportunity bucket list, never got to see him live, which is probably why it's so important to me to see artists like Beyonce now. You know, like you never know when our icons are going to be taken from us. But in any event, the highlight that I'm trying to get to but taking too long to get to is that at the Michael Jackson tribute party, which was so freaking fun, by the way, actually more fun than the Prince one, but that's a whole long story. I was basically at the front the entire party, right near Quest's sort of DJ dais. And I guess I was just having too much fun because I wound up on Questlove's Instagram stories, just like in the forefront dancing. I didn't even know about it. My friend, I guess, followed him on Instagram because I wasn't really on Instagram anyway, and she told me about it, so I like figured out a way to look it up and see it, and sure enough, there I was in my turban and my crop halter top and short shorts, jumping around and dancing like a crazy person in like 2 or 3 of his Instagram stories. And it's really stupid, but it really was a great thing that happened this year. It just really tickled me. A great thing that happened for me this year was that I remained healthy and able-bodied. That is something that I think a lot of us take for granted. You know, sometimes you have to get sick before you can appreciate being healthy, but it is not something that I take for granted. So that definitely made my list of things that were great about 2016 was just staying healthy. In October, I went on a trip with some friends from college to San Francisco, and I just had a really great time. I don't know, I mean, there's really nothing specific I can say to you. It was just one of those things where I got to have a lot of fun and make new memories and spend time with friends and eat good food. Again, these are the kinds of things like just being healthy, having a strong body that you sometimes don't count when you're trying to think of things that are great about your life. But if you really take time to think about all the little things that we often don't take the time to think about, you'll realize just how fortunate a lot of us are. I mean, there was not a single day this year where I went hungry or didn't have water to drink or didn't have shelter and a place to lay my head. So I'm grateful for all that. This is kind of a funny one, but I'm very grateful to have discovered my little detangling concoction this year. As you guys can probably tell right now, I am makeup free, so I'm not looking my best. And my hair is actually deep conditioning under here right now. So I've been going through my whole wash day process, and yesterday I was able to detangle my hair in, I think, like 45 minutes. So that's really good for me because it used to take me at least twice as long as that on a good day, and even before that it would take me around 3 hours. So over the years I've managed to cut my detangling time down, and with my current little mix that I came up with and shared with you guys in this video, I've got it down to anywhere from 30 minutes to maybe an hour if I'm really struggling. But to know that I now have a way to get through detangling my hair in just an hour on a bad day, I'm very grateful for that. I am grateful for financial stability because that was a semi-new thing for me this year. I've had various jobs in show business pretty much since I got out of college, but for the past several years in working on the YouTube channels that several of you guys already know me from, I was always freelance. Long story short, Cinefix, the bigger of the 2 channels that I was working for, was purchased by another company, and they brought me on full time. So I am no longer buying my own health insurance, and I'll be able to like have a 401k and all that kind of stuff. And even though I've had that at other jobs in the past, I haven't had it for a good 3 to 4 years. So it's nice to kind of feel like somebody made me a real boy. Next up is the fact that I discovered quite a few new Black-owned businesses, and that I was fortunate and financially stable enough to be able to actually support them and spread the word using this platform, my personal YouTube channel. I have sort of created that as part of the ethos of this channel, is supporting Black-owned businesses and spreading the word about them. So I was very blessed and fortunate and happy to have been able to do that in 2016 and to be able to continue doing so in 2017. The next thing for which I am grateful is that I also have kind of come across a more firm vision of where I want to go with this channel and what I want to do with it. The past couple of years has had a lot of fits and starts in trying to figure out what people actually want to see and what people will watch versus what I actually want to do. And I feel like within the past month or so, I've started to form a more concrete and clear vision of where I want to take this channel, what I want to do with it, rather than it just being sort of a hobby that I do on the side. I do feel like I'm coming to terms with what the vision is for my channel. And yes, I do consider that a blessing in itself. To that end, I must remark on reaching over 16,000 subscribers this year. I remember last year when I went to New Orleans for Christmas last year. I remember before even leaving on my trip, I'd had a goal to reach 1,500 subscribers by Christmas. I'm pretty sure I arrived in New Orleans like December 22nd or something like that, and I reached 1,500 subscribers that day. I remember getting to my hotel, setting up the little Wi-Fi password on my phone. I was just like, oh, let's just see how much closer I've gotten. And I think I was at 1,501 subscribers. So now to be almost exactly a year later, and I have increased that subscriber amount tenfold. And it's something I'm incredibly grateful for, because I obviously have not given this channel as much attention and time as I could, mainly because I work full time. But I do have passion and ideas, and as I mentioned, a vision for what I want to do with this channel. So I definitely am going to be putting in work and really like grinding. And I'm so, so grateful for that. In 2016, I made new friends, and that is a really, really great, wonderful thing. I already have friends from college who I love, and I feel like we're a very, very like solid group. Most of us have been friends since like freshman year, and obviously we're all graduated now, so we run pretty deep at this point. But there's also like a lot of really shit people out there, so it can be challenging to make new friends. But I did this year. Now, largely these new friends are mostly me piggybacking off of my best friend who lives up in San Francisco, and I've gone up there quite a few times this year to visit him. And now like his friends are my friends. So then on top of me kind of like leeching onto some of his friends, I've made new friends through work and things like that. And I feel like that's very special, because finding quality people can be hard. And I know that especially from working in YouTube, but I also feel like I've made friends here on YouTube. Even though I don't know a lot of your real names, there's certain people out there and you know who you are. And you guys are always super awesome in the comments, just really supportive, and just, I don't know, I just love talking to you guys in the comments, and I do feel like you guys are my friends in my head. I do get a small dose of fuck sticks in the comments as well, but I just block them and keep it pushing. And it just makes me appreciate the 99% of you who are awesome or just silent even more. Another thing I'm grateful for is not about me, it's about yet another YouTuber. It's not Evelyn this time, but it's Patricia Bright. She's this close to hitting 1 million subscribers. I don't know if she'll be able to do it before New Year's Day, but even if not, she'll be doing it in a matter of days. So I'm so excited for not only that, but for her and her new baby with Mike, baby Grace. Crazy adorable family. And when I look at how she has managed to be a YouTuber of her sort of status in terms of subscribers and exposure, and to still seem very real, I feel like that's very hard to do, even when it comes to doing her sponsored content and things, which that's part of the gig. That's part of how you make YouTube a career. So I don't begrudge that to anyone. But if I have to watch one more Best Fiends ad, I'm going to kill someone. Nonetheless, the point is, I'm so proud of her achievements, and I almost feel like there was a certain turning point, I think maybe last year in 2015 or maybe even 2014, where she basically stated in one or maybe even a few of her videos that she saw a certain way YouTube was going, and she didn't want to be another one of these clones where, you are sort of playing a role and you're just doing things a certain way so that you can get more sponsored content and, get more partnerships and things. She was just like, no, I still want to be who I am, and like that's kind of the direction I'm going in my channel. So I'm so proud to have seen her sort of like draw that line in the sand and then continue to succeed to the point of being at almost 1 million subscribers any day now. Another great thing from 2016 is Cinefix, the channel that I work for, hitting 2 million subscribers. So I mean, that's great for me in terms of job stability. Probably not actually, but in theory. But as someone who actually was hired to help launch that channel, like I was literally in the meetings where we were deciding to name the channel Cinefix is what we eventually settled on, obviously. You should have heard some of the names we rejected. In any event, even though Cinefix is not my channel, I still feel very much a part of sort of the origin story of it, if you will. So I take a lot of pride in seeing how it started and all the missteps we made and how we have evolved the channel into being what it is, and into being something that I'm very proud to work on and to be a part of today. We hit 2 million subscribers, I think, just a couple days before I headed out to San Diego for this year's Christmas trip that I went on. So it was definitely a nice Christmas gift indeed. And of course, the main thing that has been the greatest thing that happened in 2016, and indeed the thing that inspired me to even come up with a list of 16 dope-ass things that happened in 2016 and to eschew the whole fuck 2016 movement, RayRay. I just woke her up to bring her in for this video, but she doesn't seem too pissed. She's a great puppy. I love her. She enriches my life every day. She's my best friend. I'm getting choked up. There she goes yawning again. I don't know if you guys heard that. I've been trying to get that on video properly for the longest time, but I can never seem to have a camera out when she does it. She is definitely the best thing that has happened to me, not just in 2016, but in quite a few years. And I've had some pretty great years. I've got a pretty lovely life, so almost got it there. I remember waking up on November 9th, knowing all the things that we know now, and definitely feeling like democracy had ended, and in a way like I had lost my country. But then I looked over and I looked down at my dog on her little dog bed, and she started wagging her tail because she was excited that I was awake. And I realized that anything I do now is for her so that she can have a lovely little life. So yes, there are a lot of things that can make us say fuck 2016, but I encourage you to actually sit down and think about at least 16 dope things that happened in 2016 that were great about the year, rather than focusing on the things that were really not good. And let's also look ahead to 2017 with optimism and with courage, because, you know, it's going to have its own challenges, no doubt. And maybe just outline specific goals you have for yourself. I'm definitely going to be doing a fitness challenge in January. I'm going to be doing Up Your Game 2017. If you're interested in joining that, I will leave a link to a blog post that'll have all the rules for that in the description box. And in the meantime, I'll also link the 2016 Up Your Game challenge video right here so that you can just check that out, because the rules will be almost identical. And that will be kicking off on Monday, January 2nd. So make sure you get your last hurrahs in, because it's time to get busy. As well, round 2 of the Protect Your Ends challenge will be starting. That'll start on January 15th. We are in the last 2 days of the current round, so let me know how that has been working out for you. In terms of my goals for 2017, my usual goal is to reach the best fitness of my life. I kind of say that every year, and I tend to get there, but only temporarily, and then I fall off the wagon again. I kind of like get to my best and then backslide. So I would like to mitigate the backsliding once and for all this year. My other main resolution will be one that I'm actually stealing from one of my best friends, Des. And she apparently, I just found this out about her, but she has the same resolution every year, and that is to put another stamp on her passport. And I just think that is the best resolution ever. So the theme for me 2017 is going to be travel is my vice. I definitely want to travel a lot more than I do, and not just going up to San Francisco and losing my voice. I want to get a new stamp on my passport, at least one. I don't know if it's realistic to get more than one, but that is the resolution, along with just being more consistent and actually maintaining the best shape of my life rather than getting there and backsliding. And of course, to keep this one happy. But she's pretty happy anyway, so that's not too big of an ask. Anyway, let me know your best things of 2016 in the comments, and or your goals and resolutions for 2017. Happy New Year, and I can't wait to see you guys again in 2017. Bye-bye.
That's a nappy-headed hose there, I'm gonna tell you that now.